Why me? Why me? It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Feel sorry for me, gosh. Sound familiar? Hey guys, Yvonne here at Inspirational Growth. So what this video is going to be about is going to be about victim mentality. Now, what is victim mentality? A victim mentality is a mentality somebody takes on after a traumatic experience that makes them into a victim. It could be dealing with something as small as just being physically hurt, or it could be something mentally draining as a traumatic experience. It could be anything dealing from depression, maybe losing a family member, or even just getting out of a long-term relationship. Be dealing with a injury that really inhibits you from having a normal life. And what most people get after a traumatic experience might be a different mentality than they had before this experience. Was a negative circumstance, they start focusing only on the negative. They start focusing hardcore on the actual circumstance that they lie in. And because of this, they actually push themselves further away from getting out of self-growth from this experience. And because of this, it becomes a victim mentality, because they start viewing themselves as a victim. The signs that you start viewing yourself as a victim could be that you're always looking at the negatives. The negatives is the only thing that you're focusing on. You always complain about the negatives. You're always just pushing away all the positives in your life. And because you're pushing away all the positives in your life, you're actually putting up excuses to find the positives in your life. For example, whenever I was using my victim mentality, I had to deal with my financial state. When I was in high school and when I was in a relationship, I would actually use my financial state to put up excuses to do something in my relationship. I also used my illegal status back in high school when I was illegal and wasn't documented as an excuse to do certain things as well, not just in my relationship, but also with my friendships or travel and stuff like that. And so I started using excuses to continually bury myself into my negative situation. One thing I did learn from using my victim mentality for a very, very long time is that people in the beginning will actually feel sorry for you. They will pity you, but only for a certain amount of time. And then after you're done milking that cow, alright, Bassett, time to milk you real good. People are done giving you attention and pitying you. They won't really pay attention to you. They will expect you to grow up. They're going to expect you to do something out of yourself. And because you have a victim mentality and you push those people away, and now those people are pushing you away, it's kind of like a circle, you know? You push those people away because you didn't want to find the positivity, but they were trying to help you out in the beginning, and now they're not going to help you out, and then your victim mentality is like, oh, why aren't people treating me like I deserve to be treated? Now they're being all negative to me. It's a complete circle, and that's what a victim mentality does to you. You give yourself a self-pity party, you expect others to do things for you, and when they don't do things for you, then you just push yourself further into the negative circumstance that you first created for yourself. And that's one thing you also have to learn about victim mentality, that in this world, no one owes you anything. But it's also a vice versa situation. You don't owe the world anything as well. So why does victim mentality happen? Well, we already kind of stepped into, it kind of happens because somebody either gets into a negative circumstance and they only focus on the negatives in their life at that situation. But why does it continue? Well, it continues because it's easy. It's easy to stay in that victim mentality. It's easy to get people's attention by using your negative circumstance. And it's easy just to live life while others do things for you. If we all had a situation where we could just go around and get people to do stuff for us, we would do it, because people take the easy road all the time. It's hard to live. It's hard to live life. It's hard to grow yourself, and it's hard to become a better person out of a negative situation. Nobody wants to do that self-work because it's almost like maintenance, and nobody wants to maintain because it's a chore. Freaking hate chores, man. And that's why victim mentality continues on, because it's just an easier way. It's kind of like playing life in easy mode. Ha! Too easy. Another reason that victim mentality doesn't just stop where the negative circumstance stops It's because your ego is profiting off of it. People love attention. People love to be the center of attention. And people love to have people look at them and feel sorry for them, because it's just what your ego needs, and it's what your ego wants. And it's so easy to get that whenever you have a negative situation manipulating other people. Another reason that victim mentality continues after the negative circumstance is because it's hard to face the truth. It's hard to face the truth that maybe after the negative circumstance, you could have done something to grow yourself. And it's hard to face that. And it's hard to face that you pushed those people away. You pushed your loved ones away. You pushed your friends away, and the maybe complete strangers that actually viewed you as a possibility of being able to be helped. You pushed all those people away. You pushed all your positive opportunities away. And it's hard to face that truth, that not only was a negative circumstance deteriorating to yourself, but you were also deteriorating your own self. So how do we combat this? How do we give the victim mentality the old 1-2? Well, there's certain statements that are kind of easier said than done, but once you do them, it's all honestly just the basics on how to get rid of that mentality. So the first one is start focusing on the positives. Now, it like I said, it's easier said than done. But basically what somebody with a victim mentality does is they focus on just the negative circumstance. And because they focus on just the negative circumstance, they are constantly trying to find other negatives in their lives so they can complain or even put themselves even more in that victim role. And because they're looking for more negatives, that's all they're focused on. Even if a positive kind of just comes walking along, they're not going to even look at it because they're too focused on the negatives to even see the positive. And that's what you need to start doing. You need to start focusing on the positives. And it doesn't even have to be a big positive. It can be a small positive. Like maybe you have a tradition with your friends where you go out every single Wednesday night. Or maybe it can be even smaller than that, or you have video games or something to distress yourself, a chess game, or maybe you like designing clothes or something. Just start with something small. Because a lot of people find it hard to find big positives in their lives. So just start small, and then pretty soon try to find other small positives. And because you're trying and because you're focusing on trying to find more positives, pretty soon the bigger positives are going to be easier to find. You know, if you have a wife or husband or kids, or maybe grandma, grandpa, or your significant other, or or maybe you're like going on a traveling adventure, or maybe you're finally focusing on your goals and achieving them. Maybe those are your positives. And because you're starting to get the bigger picture, and because you're finding more positives in your life, you're not going to start even paying attention to the negatives. Once you want to start focusing on your positives, and once you stop focusing on the negatives, one good lean way into that is to let go of your baggage, because your baggage can crush you. By baggage, I mean the situation that got you in the victim mentality in the first place. Your past. You can't control your past. You can't control what happened. You can only control what you're doing the second. You can control what you're going to be doing a couple hours from now. You can control what you're going to be doing in a couple days, in a week, in a month, a year. But unfortunately, you can't control what happened in the past. And it is something, it's kind of hard to get to that point, to get to that mentality. But once you get into that mentality that you can't control your past and you can only control yourself, as of right now, that's when you start viewing that you can actually control yourself in order to create more positivity. You can control yourself to create more positive circumstances, working on yourself to start getting out of the negative situation you were in the first place, and to control yourself to continually fight the victim mentality. Alright guys, to summarize this video, Victim mentality, it stops you from viewing positives. You start making excuses to get away from positives. You start making excuses and eventually pushing people away. And eventually you're just left with negatives. You first try to use your victim mentality to get more positives, but it's a contradiction because it only fills you up with more negatives. And the way that you combat that is start focusing on the positives. Let go of your past. You can't control your past. You can only control yourself. And because of this, I want you guys to know that you're not victims of your situation. You're not victims of your circumstance. And you're not victims to anything else. All right? You guys are fighters. And you guys are absolutely thriving. And because of that, I'm proud of how far you guys have come. I know you're going to make it further. All right, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, you want to go ahead and click my face right there? You go ahead and subscribe to me. That'll let me know that there's people that actually want to watch my videos. And I'll go ahead and keep on making some more. You're going to go ahead and hit that link right there. It'll go ahead and hit you towards another video on my channel. Thanks for watching.